And we are live again in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the capital city of the internet. We're here again today. Anything goes. For the next hour, we intend to throw pies at any number of persons who meet them. My name is Dr. Jeffrey Lynn. I am the long CEO and co-founder of Worldprofit. Going back 22 years now on the internet. Today we'll talk about what we always talk about, money. Why you don't have them as much as you want. Why you haven't got any. And we'll talk about the embarrassment of coming on here pleading for assistance when you have done so little to help yourself. Oh, it's going to be a great day. The sun is shining too. No rain today. I'm here with James Stevens, colleague, buddy, pal. You might get a pie too, just because it's co-hosting this doesn't mean the pies are immune. No. They can fly any direction. James Stevens, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Dr. Lance?
This program is the longest running live program on the internet, bar none. No one comes close. We've touched on so many of the key issues over the years, in the forefront of it. And today, as always, we're going to, as the people come in, we're going to do a little analysis of them. You like a free analysis of your internet situation. But it's going to be candid. No, nothing varnished. No. Nothing varnished at all. Come on, click on the form that's in front of you and fill it out. Come in here and get started. Before we get formal started, do you anything you want to say to these people? You know, they look so woebegone to me, and they're all wheedling in their flat world, and they're always disgusting.
Well, I would just like to say, you know, if you really want to change, then you have to do something differently. You know, the excuses about I don't have enough money for this. Well, actually, whatever you want, you have money for it. So I would say to you, go ahead, come on in and join Worldprofit so you can make that change. So you can change the destiny that you're currently on. This is why we're here, so that we can change that destiny, change that world.
Speaking of destiny, yesterday, well, of course, was our primary in the state of Massachusetts, where I'm speaking from, and for my utter amazement, most of my candidates won. I always vote for the underdog. I almost never vote for the person who thinks the poobahs don't usually get my vote. I want to tell you a little thing. One of the poor underdogs was running for district attorney, which is a very important post in the eastern states where we have so much urban crime. And there was no incumbent, so they would knock me out against each other for the first time. And one of the candidates was from an old political family in Cambridge. And it was known by everyone. And to the astonishment of the establishment in Georgia, the reason why he lost was because there was an article in the paper couldn't have been a better place for the insurgency. About 2 weeks ago, he was making over $150,000 in his spare time job, hauling trash for the city of Cambridge. And going, well, $150,000 for trash? Give me that job. I want that job. And that was in addition to his regular salary. And he had the audacity to say he just happened to know some people of influence. Yes, he didn't certainly have to know that. That was someone shooting themselves in the foot, and Mr. Michael O'Sullivan did it for sure. Then we look what about the congressman. This is Massachusetts, where the delegation never changes. Same Democrats were born there, will die there. And there was a scandal about Congressman Tierney, who'd been in office for at least 9 terms. And a young ex-Marine named Moulton came out, Harvard Business School, right? Squeaky clean and beat Tierney. No one said he beat him. And he did. I voted, I'm so happy today. You know, what it proves to me is you can't achieve the great victories unless you commit to achieving the great victories. And so Michael Sullivan, great family candidate, died. Congressman Tierney, died. And that was the front front-runner for the Democratic nomination. Was supposed to win by 41 points, and everybody was waiting to win. She was the one who lost Senator Kennedy seat in the Senate. For reasons unknown, they gave her a chance to run for governor. And she almost blew it last night, to the astonishment of the entire state of Massachusetts. Well, I love politics, and I love seeing the screw-ups, and I love seeing all the people that have egg on their faces. Oh, I love it. But it comes here without politics. Let's talk to David Ondies. David Ondies, say hello, and Ralph. What do you make of that, James? I love it when the people who are supposed to lose don't lose, they win, and when they're new and fresh, squeaky clean and awesome. And I like seeing some of those Marines in the comments that knock up your heads together. And everyone was amazed that a Marine ran as a brat. Whoa! That shows you the armed forces, excuse me, right, left wing. One woman said, supporters vote against him because he was a secret Republican. So there. Fire the face number one. You secret Republican.
Well, it's always great when the underdog wins. Sometimes I'm a bit amazed when people, when politicians, when they change parties. I know here in Texas, that guy that did that, he was a Democrat, and all of a sudden he became a Republican, and then he became the state senator once he switched political parties. So I'm always amazed when that takes place.
The people move slowly, they often meander, they move the wrong way, they move half the wrong way, then they turn around and run half the other wrong way. Ultimately, we get to the goal. The question before the House is, was the time allotment excessive? In other words, how long do we have to go? Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Do we have to go? Now, Ralph, we need you to say hello to us. If you don't say hello to us, we get rid of you. Today, we're waiting for some folks to come in. We want to say hello to our friend, Chris Carter, who's manning to watch this program right now as we speak. We have two audiences we want to bring to your attention. We have the studio audience that we're talking to, who will come in. We'll talk directly in person to them. And then we have the YouTube audience, which numbers in the many tens of thousands. And these programs that we do, and there are so many of them now. There we go. This is charting in. Patrice and I were involved in a food fight the other day about the information age, about how we will lose control of information, and who will control information. It's a scary, very funny program. Well, we may revisit some of that today. Ralph, we need you to say hello. And Joe Coffey, you're kidding, of course. Your name couldn't possibly be Joe Coffey. Anyway, we'll see if it is. Joe Coffey, you need to come in and say hello to us. James, does this surprise you, after all these many months you've been with us, how stupid people are behaving about the internet? They think they can make money on the internet all by themselves. Would you care to address that point? Now, Joe Coffey, is that your real name? Well, is it? Or is LOL your real name? Joe, you start those comments and turn my head and turn you into a piece of, pie in the face. I'm asking you one more time. Is that your real name? If you're unable to answer that question, then you clearly bogus, and clearly you don't deserve to be here. Okay, Mr. James Stevens, remove him. You need an alias? I don't want any people who need an alias. If I see a picture on the post office wall, I won't like that either. When they get off into that's my internet alias. You wonder why they need an alias. What do they do? Were they involved in pounding? What do you think about that one? Half people can't even give you an honest answer. You live in Switzerland. Okay, Ralph, we need your last name. And then we need you to watch the click on the green box to watch the video, and guess what? Watch that video. Regarde el video. When Julius Caesar went to conquer France, he came up with famous saying, well, Veni, Vidi, Video. I came, I saw, I watched the video. Now, Ralph, this is a business site. We need a last name. If you don't wish to give it, that's fine. We just kick you out. We'll kick you out. Putaj. Ralph Putaj. Okay, Ralph Putaj. You want to click on the green box and watch the video. It takes 18 minutes. Don't watch part of it. Watch the whole thing. It spares a lot of beef on the other way. Well, we were watching Johann Williams earlier today, reading from my symbol works. Boy, wears you out. You guys are so funny when you're reading from my autobiography. I have to think it up. First, I had to live it. You guys go, oh, you had it? It's so hard to do. A, I had to live it. B, I had to remember. C, I had to write it down, edit it. Write it, rewrite it, and then you get to come like, oh, so long. Well, you better be grateful it is long because the alternative was 6 under and it would have plotted all around the corner. It's so long. You got to be grateful for small favors. Peter Hassingbo. Welcome back, Peter. And Ralph. I thought the Swiss were intelligent. Ralph, click on the green box and watch the video. We only asked you a dozen times. What do you want to say to Ralph? James Stevens, Esquire.
I actually like the Esquire part. Now, Ralph, it's very important that you view the video. Now, the video goes into much greater detail. What we have here.
Oh, right.
And
you want to watch the video?
There. Okay,
Ralph, how much does our program cost? You're such a smarty pants. Let's see if you are. How much is the investment going to have to be? Tell me this. How much? Come along, Ralph. You have the answer. You watch the video. What is it about people that they want to lie all freaking day, and it doesn't do anyone any good? Ralph, how much does our program cost? A fact which was mentioned innumerable times in the video you purport to have watched. I'm going to give you 1 minute to acknowledge you did not watch the entire thing. Bogus. If someone comes in here and named bogus, I'm going to believe that they're actually. I do not know. Well, then you know what? You better take your derriere back to the ranch and watch it. Click on the green box and watch it this time. And this time, don't tell me you did when you didn't. Mr. Stevens, why do they lie so much? Why does the average person's first response coming here to tell a lie?
I don't know. I guess they don't want the truth revealed front. You know, they kind of want to, as the kids would say, they want to perpetrate a fraud.
Yeah. All right, Jim Coffee, Joe Coffee, I need a real name from you, and I need it within 1 minute. You're here as our guest. In fact, you should remember we're passing on bogus details. Well, now, clean them up. You broom sweep steam. Johan, are you there? Did you put a cold compress on your forehead and breathe softly? Did I wear you out? Oopsie. waiting for someone to come in that we can do a free analysis. If that's you would like a free analysis of your business and your chances for success, come on in, fill out the form in front of you. You can do it right now, right here. The whole world will be zoning in. I think it's partly that people give these bogus names because they're arrogant. They're so important. If anyone really knew what they're doing, they'd be an embarrassment to the family, to the trustees of the bank. Yeah. What I say. Well, this is your opportunity, Mr. James Stevens, PDQ, for you to say anything that's been bothering you about the people who come here. This is your chance to throw a few cakes, pies, and sort of.
So this is my turn to throw some pies at some people. Huh?
Well, let me put it this way. You're such a soft voice, the gentle giant. You know, the gentle giant is here, Dr. Lath. Tell him we shop with the Valley of the Jolly Green Giant. Look at this. You're very soft-spoken, and so people might assume, I could assume, that where is the passion? Do you have a passion about this site and about helping all these ne'er-do-wells with their bogus names and their lies? Let's hear for James Stevens' passion.
Well, actually, I do. I can remember when I first started with Worldprofit. I really didn't. I had a lot of pieces. I didn't quite know how to put it all together. But then when I came here and I began to see people having success, and the best thing to do is when you see people having success, you just kind of mimic what they do if you really don't know what to do. And so I started doing that, and I started to see people with success. And then I just simply, let me do what they're doing. And it has truly helped. I am really grateful that I became part of this. It has really changed.
My passion is. Fill out that form. Fill out that sentence. My passion is what? Following others.
Really, my passion. Well, it's not so much following. Well, my passion is really following people that are successful and then emulating what they're doing.
In other words, you're to be a stalker. I just want to clarify
Well, in this case, it's positive to be a stalker, but in some instances, it's a bad.
Can I have those Interpol policemen that come back? All right, so I just want to clarify this. Your passion is to be a beneficial stalker.
This would be the first time I would say being a stalker would be something positive.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to know. It clears up a lot of stuff in my mind. Anybody else want to be a stalker? I think to translate this into more socially acceptable terms, you are following in the footsteps of people who are successful. Newton, who gave a famous quote in that direction, once asked for the secret to success, he said, "If I have succeeded, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants." Meaning that he came after, and you did a stride high because you're right on George Koch's shoulders. I have stood on the shoulders of giants. I think that's a very key point. You want to succeed, identify what those succeeding do, and do the same thing, which is duplication, not stalking.
But also, Dr. Land, that's one of the key principles of Think and Grow Rich, where you just simply follow the steps of those that have gone before you and that are successful.
If you pick up the current, edition of anything, Think and Grow Rich, guess what? We see my name in it. I was asked to do a blurb, publication blurb, and I was happy to do so. Think and Grow Rich was the first book my father gave me to read. And he said, read this now and spare yourself a lot of new things. It's true. Even though it's an old warhorse, written in a time we no longer acknowledge. It is a book full of abiding truths about money. Now, we have Alfonso here. Alfonso and I have a bit of a thing going, don't we, Ali baby? Alfonso, get your daily dose of account. Come on. See, I dedicated a program to Alfonso the other day. And he is quite useless. He won't follow any known directions. He just likes to rack it up. And I have taken using a metaphor that we can understand. When you were in high school, did you say, I want to be like Alfonso. I want to come every single day and never make a penny, never achieve anything, and be a complete and utter wastrel. I want to be like Alfonso. Did anybody say anything remotely resembling that? If so, go wash out your mouth and soap. What do you think? We had 100% of people in high school saying, oh, they were going to be achieved, they were going to be like this, blah, 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 blah. And yet we have all these people on welfare without any resources, no pension plans, no medical insurance. What is it that took the people down that road, that long, lonesome road, Mr. Stevens? Alfonso, we need to hear from you. We're not going to keep you here. We're bored and witless by you and your story of failure. And Stephen Brown, you've been here 23 times. You watched the video. Stephen, it's time for you to join us today. I'll tell you one of the great things about being in this position. There's a little ridicule is a marvelous thing. I'll give you the window box for ridicule. When the suffragettes were getting their votes for women campaign underway in England and the United States, they often did outrage. They threw rocks through windows, and sometimes quite hideous as they did. But in this particular case, a suffragette chained herself to the fence at 10 Downing Street, the British Prime Minister's official residence. And a cheeky police person, Copper, came around with a watering can and laid a carefully construed trail of water from the lady's gown. And she drew the obvious conclusion, and she said, oh my God, people will think, oh, look at the faces, the indignity. People will think that I am not watering, oh. And of course, the police and everyone laughed because she properly unlocked herself from the fence and went home. That's called cleverness. It's also called ridicule. And ridicule works wonders. Well, James, what's to that?
Well, I don't know about that, Dr. Lent. You know, some people say ridicule, you know, it's a great thing. That's
well,
true.
I know what you say.
I happen to disagree with it.
Smoosh, the gentle giants here. Yet, let me put it this way. How many times have I rescued you while you were mucking on a sale and I came to you as the cavalry and said, there, do it this way, Bubby. I believe that the last time was only yesterday morning. Did I not come as the cavalry to save the sale, save you?
You have come in quite often, Dr. Lent, that you have done.
I'm giving you the pie in the face. No, do you recall? Do you remember? Do you remember our assignation yesterday morning in the middle of the night?
Yes, I remember very well.
Do you recall that the sale was in the process of being made or not made?
Yes, I do.
And do you recall that without thought of my person, my safety, or my continued existence on this planet, I rushed in, my saber flashing to save that sale for you, God and country, and the Boy Scouts too. Do you recall that moment? Theater history.
Yes, I remember you coming in. Here come the cavalry.
And you recall that the person in question was from Australia. We've been hanging around the fringes. And I don't let people hang around the fringes. If you don't want it, then get out. If you do want it, then get on with the matter at hand. Now, you don't think that and you perhaps forgot that there was a dollop of ridicule in the midst of that puppy as he roamed around and roamed around. You don't think there was a middle in that?
Well, I think, we can be firm.
Answer the question. Answer the question. You're under oath. You said tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, answer the justice's question. Well, you think there was a dollop of sarcasm?
Yeah, I mean, there was some sarcasm.
Ridicule, and yet you say it doesn't work. Where it hasn't worked, the defense, the prosecution rests. Now, you're going to be so covered with pie, no one's going to let you in the house. Now, go ahead and make your case. Make a case for being a really good person that you are.
Well, it's like this, something, you're going to say something, I'm like, well, it's kind of like a no-win situation.
You know very well you're going to lose, but it's how you lose that is all. That you're going to lose, take that for granted. It's like the matador and the bull. The bull has a little inkling in its mind that it's not going to get out of there in one piece. So everybody is concentrated on the gratefulness. Ole, ole, ole! Watching you get out of this is like watching the bull try to get away from the matador. It doesn't work, but it's fun watching. That's it. Go ahead, try again. Go ahead, Jimmy, try again. We have enough time to do this. You believe that everyone should be treated as a customer at Dairy Queen.
Well, no, what I believe is this. I do believe that, we are to treat people the way we want to be treated. But then I also believe that sometimes, also I believe that sometimes, we do have to get a little firm with people.
You're a weasel. Also. You're weaseling. You are voting on both sides of the question. I know monitors do that a lot. I say, is this person going to make when you achieve the goal in the next week? They go, well, maybe yes, and maybe no. They could, if only. I'm thinking, excuse me, when you go into the polling booth, do they give you 64 ballots to check off? No, they give you one. You have to make a choice. Tell me why you think the golden rule, your version, there are two versions of the golden rule. One is you, and them that's got the gold rules. I vote for the second one, them that got the gold rules. Would you care to now give? Would you care to? See,
that's our first
I rest my case. I don't even have to say anything. The laughter carries away this case. Well, now you've got to do
so that's my first time hearing that. Those that have the gold rules. I've never heard that before.
Them that got the gold rules. Well, is that true or not? It is largely true. It's not universally true. There's nothing that's universally true. It is largely true.
Well,
let me ask you
in
this.
Our society, it does require money, so yeah.
Now, did I not personally put money in your pocket because of the sale that I made for you? Did the money go right into James A. Stevens, better living money? True or false?
It went right into a hip bank. Yes, it did.
And so you have the audacity to bite the hand that feeds you, that came to your rescue in the middle of the night with no help and no citizens, just my sheer valor bravery and determination. Oh, it's all those things. And then you say, but the way you used was the wrong way. I believe we should have used a different way. Well, is the money in your pocket? Well, yes, but we should have used a different way nonetheless. How do you manage to pull that one off? Gotcha. You're gonna have to buy a whole bunch of shovels today to get yourself out of these holes. How do you justify putting down the very tactic that you use to put money in your very pocket?
I don't know about that now.
Well, excuse me, did the money go into your account? Is it yours?
It went into my account, yes it did. And I am thankful
so
for the assistance.
I can tell how true that you're
early that morning.
You're already forced by it. God, come on, are you thankful for enough? Cough up! Took you a long time. Took you a long time to make you be grateful for it. We're here with James Stevens. We are here on Anything Goes, our daily program at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, where we do down to the real nitty-gritty. And I am playing Ode to Joy, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Let me tell you a little bit about it before I hack into some 2 minutes some more. Beethoven was nearly completely deaf when he wrote the Ninth Symphony. He couldn't hear but 1 in 1,000 notes. And yet, the manuscript that is now residing in the United Nations, one of those treasures, the first piece of music to be so designated, was done when the man was stone deaf. And he didn't come in and say, oh, I can't do it, I didn't mind, finish with it. No, he catch the sublime. And so the Ode to Joy is an ode to determination, commitment. And yes, joy. It says when you are committed, and you are focused on a goal with achieving, it is a joy. Fremda is a joy. What do you make of that, Mr. Stevens? Do you think Beethoven is to be commended? The way it is thought that Beethoven's Ninth Symphony is the most well-known musical work in the history of civilization. That's why I'm putting it into my book, so a little bit of that moxie runs off on me. What do you think?
Well, yeah, he really doesn't.
You think it would be better to say, oh,
he really does need to.
I can't do it. Yes?
Well, he really does need to be commended because that's a great achievement to write such a great piece and not be able to hear. That's a testament of his skill and his tradition. That in spite of things that he was lacking, he persevered.
He had a sarcastic turn of voice. If you read the Wikipedia entry on Beethoven, the Ninth Symphony, you'll find out that Beethoven, as stone deaf as he was giving musical cues to the conductor. And they weren't pleasant either. And they got the job done. Oh, he didn't say, I think I should be more gentle in time. I say knock their heads together and get the job done. Oh, the Ode to Joy is in my ears now. It's playing. It's the most marvelous piece of music. The Ode to Joy. It's a universal brotherhood. This is a song that James Stevens might get into. If you saw a man with all sorts of wrong notes put into his symphony, would you say something? Or would you say, oh, I won't like him anymore? Don't worry about being liked. Worry about whether the sale goes through. We're here with James Stevens, Esquire, who is trying desperately hard to justify a course of action he did not take. He took another course of action and therefore got money in his pocket. He doesn't have a time of arguing away money since he's got his own little head. Now, would you care to give us another thing? I've got several pies left. Wow.
I see you have several pods.
What do you think about the
I
people
see
who
you
come
on
in
a
here
roll
and
right
don't
now.
do their daily promotion? I'm on a roll. Both of you roll with 10 days. What do you want to say about the people who come in here and never do their promotions? Expect to make a business of customers. This is one of the most mistakes. If you want to make money, you need customers. If you want to make more money, you need more customers. If you want to make the most money of all, you need all the customers. I don't understand why people don't grasp it. But let's throw a bunch of little pies. How many of you today did your promotions? How many of you, Mr. Stevens, Mr. Johan, Ms. Patrice, how many of you did the necessary promotions today? And we have Miss Elsie saying yes, and Mr. Buck, and Patrice Porter, but not everyone. I don't see Mr. James Stevens' names up there. Oh. Well, Mr. Stevens, what's the excuse du jour on this topic? He's frozen now.
So it looks like everyone that's here is either working on their promotions
Except you.
or they just complete. I see
Except
Johan.
you.
No, I've typed in.
Oh, you typed in the yes, right there at the end. You thought I wouldn't see it. Now, here's another thing.
Well,
Do you believe there's a kindness to... Go on. You have to do this time a lot. See?
No, I was going to say that, we have to do our promotions because nothing is going to actually be given to us. We have to do the work. Then once you do the work, you reap the benefit. But, you have to actually roll yourself up and get the work done. And that's one of the things that I was really lacking when I came. It was the discipline.
My God, you must belong to the, to the famous sayings league. Hello, today my name is James Stevens, and if you want to achieve a goal, you have to work towards the goal. Without another private sayings will be our flogged to death on our program today. What is that? What are those things called? That we're in the senior moment here. Johan, what's it called when someone has like an aphorism? A saying. They beat to death. James Stevens is like the kind of person who will have a few thousand of those.
Actually, I do.
Well, give us a few here. Give us a few here. Share the wealth. What's your favorite success slogan?
Well, one thing I said, we really have to roll our sleeves up and actually do the work. Before I didn't promote as much as I'm doing now, and I noticed when I just back
as
in
much
and start and just do the promotion.
Bogus, you didn't do any at all.
Well, I did some, but it wasn't to the extent that it is now.
Okay,
and
let's analyze. Let's analyze
your
thought process.
No. I noticed that when I do the promotion, I want to actually do more promotion, and then that leads to even more promotion. And so what I'm doing now is far greater than what I was doing before. And as a result of doing all the promotion, I am seeing the rewards of it.
Diane Sawyer once said that what you get from success is more success. And that's absolutely true. But you guys wanted to, okay.
No. The point that I was making is that I look here and I look on the board, and I was noticing, people that had success, and I noticed that they were constantly promoting. See names kind of pop up, and they're sponsoring this person and sponsoring that person. I was like, wow, okay, so this is how they are achieving success. I said, well, I need to do what they're doing and just constantly do more promotion. And
okay, having said that,
I started really seeing
why do you miss days then from time to time? Let's do the In the last week, have you promoted every single day without failure?
Yes, sir.
In the last
Yes,
week, for the 7 days. Every day. Scouts on it. Okay, how about the week before?
Every day I promote. Every day I promote.
Okay,
now, some days I may promote
promote
more than other days.
When we set up this corporation 22 years ago, George Koch would take a $20 bill and stick it on the computer with a number next to it. And the number next to it was the number of $20 bring in that data through the door. We bootstrapped this company. We didn't borrow a penny, put that by customers. You know what that means? We didn't have any data saying, well, some days we do more than others. We had to do a quota. We absolutely had to. Some mornings we wake up and there the money would be there already. Some days we had to stay until 11, 12, midnight to do the job because we wouldn't leave until it was done. Now, I know for a certain fact that most people in this company don't do that. They take the lazy man's way to wealth, right? There is no lazy man's way to wealth. You got to get out there and do it. For example, I'm writing now my 20th book. It's a very complicated book. It's packed with thousands of facts and stories, whatever. I woke up the other morning and I said, I'm retired. I get a Social Security check. I must be retired. The government thinks I'm retired. What am I doing this for? They obviously are doing this for because it needs to be done. If it needs to be done, you lay it out there and do it. People tolerate failure more than they tolerate any other crime against nature. And failure is a crime. It's an indication that the system in question is not working properly for that person. Would you agree?
Yes.
And do you tolerate your own failure? Well, do you tolerate your own failure?
Well, sometimes, but I really try not to do that because
look at this. Look at this. You're tripping over it. Well, occasionally, sometimes, maybe. Yeah, that is a yes, even if it be a qualified yes. You are what you think. René Descartes, the famous French mathematician of the 17th century, said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. And he was like the father of self-help books. People give themselves the benefit of every doubt. I said to you, do you tolerate your own failure? And your response was, well, E-I-O-I, take, tag, all big bang, ooh-ee. In other words, a non-answer. Now try it again. Try cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Or it's a slightly more subtle way of translating it. What I think is what. Now, you tolerate your own failure.
No, I do not.
Ah, good. I'll believe it. Believe it. I'm always astonished by people who tell me all the reasons why they fail. Do you know that every great person in the history of the world failed first? Every great thinker, every great leader failed at some point, miserably too. So the essence of success is not having success, it's in grabbing it and holding it when you don't feel like it. Now, we're coming up to the fourth quarter of our football game today. And that's another thing, Ron. We have this rash of football players beating up people. I was in the barber shop yesterday, and that's its own trip. I'll get to that barber in a minute. He was watching the program about all these football players and what they did. This one that beat his girlfriend unconscious in an elevator. Why are we surprised by this? We pay them millions of dollars so that they'll greet each other. They just haven't figured out when it's appropriate and when it isn't. You want to comment on this? We've created a legion of gladiators, and that's what they are. They're just a contemporary version. We had brutality in the Coliseum long before we had the NFL. And these people don't know how to behave. What's so surprising? Plus brain damage. You can imagine how this happened. They've been drinking, they had an argument, and then he goes, wah! And beats her to a coma. Now, is anyone surprised? I am not. Am I the only one who's not surprised? Who, in fact, expects it to happen? You pay people to be brutal, and guess what? They are living up to their contracts. Of course, Hernandez's case is the best of all. He murdered, or participated in the murders of, 2 or 3 people. But it's absolutely astonishing that we don't say we train to be brutal killers. My God, they're doing their job. How are you gonna keep them down on the farm, Jimmy, after they've seen Paris? That's what I want to know. Comment. And this is for all the NFL viewers. I never watch it. In this case, I get to be prissy and above the fray. I don't want. If I wanted to watch people kill each other, I'd go out in the streets of Massachusetts, go down to Boston to the different neighborhoods where we have people being shot to death for just existing. Random violence is up. People will just go out and just kill people for the sheer joy of it. And we wonder about the NFL. Would you care to comment, Mr. James Stevens, Esquire, football player fanatic?
Well, I've never viewed it like that before, but the argument that you make does make sense. I mean, they are trained to go out there and, tackle one another, and it kind of lends itself to behavior like that. It really does.
Kind of. I made a mistake a few months ago. I couldn't find anything else to watch on my 230 channel my television system. I ended up watching this program it was a film about a Texas high school and how it was a losing team, and how the coach went out there and he just battered them into submission. And he said, "Look, girls," and it's a terrible thing. These coaches, they're paid money at all. If they're having such a good time, I am in favor of curtailing their wage because they're barbaric, pulling down the civilization. And by the way, when the schools no longer have art, no longer have English, and no longer have music, guess what? They'll have football or some brain dead equivalent. You know very well that the last coach on campus is going to be a football coach. Hubba. Am I right? And we want to welcome Carlos Garcia. Look, football coaches and I look at each other and we sum each other up right by his measure. He looks at me and says, "You're your feet's intellectual smile," at him and say, "You idiot." Right? We really have gotten it down to a fine science. I just know if I was still writing my columns in my book, I would be commenting on this spate. It is a spate. Football players who murder people, bash them, and of course it's so glamorous. What's so glamorous about beating people into the mud? We've been doing it for thousands of years, it seems. Is it because they wear cute pants that stick to their derriere? I don't know. There's got to be some reason why we think it's cute. I didn't think it was so cute in the 14th century. Well, James, with your sweetie pie point of view here, defend. They're really good people, Dr. You just don't know them like I do.
Well, I have athletes in my family, and a lot of them they need the sports to kind of
killing people. Go on, say it. They need the sports, and they don't go to the street and beat people into submission.
Well, I know, like in schools, I really know why they have sports in schools, especially middle school and high school. Some of the young boys, they need that so that they can get rid of that aggression. So
why don't we have soccer like in Europe? Why do we have a sport that is many times more expensive and can lead many more times to brain damage and whatever? What does it say about our country? As usual, we're on the short end of the stick. They somehow managed to do all right with the ball and the playing field in Brazil. Instead of it, I think hopefully in 100 years we'll have no more football teams at all. We'll have soccer teams. What do you think about that? Now James A. Stevens is about to get on top of him and say, God bless America.
Well, I kind of see that, you know, our country, you know, having more soccer, as you know, because you kind of see that, you know, with and soccer is becoming more prevalent in the United States.
It's more prevalent, and it's cheaper, and it doesn't result in many brain injuries. You know, we train the young men, they are mostly young men still, to get out there and do their thing, and then they get in a coma, or they have some lasting life that lives with them for the rest of their lives. Was it worth it? To have some brain-dead coach there, come on, boys, get out there and win it for our grandpa. Now listen, lady, you don't do it, I'm going to come out there and tie nylons to your ears. I mean, if you listen to the kinds of so-called pep talk that these coaches give, you wonder, what cage did they get out of? I say, back to the zoo, back to the zoo. And we are in the last few minutes of Anything Goes. We are here every day live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We have the privilege of having sweet-tempered guest James A. Stevens Esquire join us, only to find out that his argument doesn't hold any water and that he deserved all those pies he's getting crashed. And for the sake of our audience, we have a new commission program where we're putting money in people like James A. Stevens' pocket, even though I might do the work for him 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I'm helping James. But then he died and I actually helped him. Well, you stand before the world now and say, Dr. Lance saved my bacon. Go ahead, say it over and over again and make it good. It'll sound so good. You wouldn't say it in 6 times. What we're going to do here, we're going to bring up Mr. Patrice Porter for some remarks and a well-deserved bow. We're going to bring him back for the final remark after she's done. And again, we are here on Anything Goes, which we are here every day, every 1 o'clock Eastern Time. James Stevens is going to go down. We're going to bring up the ever-lovely Patrice Porter from Saskatchewan, where she grows, well, let's find out what she's growing today. And for those of you who want to know what's up to, she's posted a link on the screen where you can all get in touch right now. Back up in the closest village of Santa Claus, it's in Saskatchewan. And here she is. We hope she's come up.
Yeah, good day, all. There. Good day, all. And you were just hot today, Dr. Lant, and it's too bad there wasn't more people to be able to take advantage of that with the consultation there. And if you want to know what I've been doing the panic frost harvesting. So we're into fall, and the fall selling season is upon us, and we're very busy that way too. And if people want to check out my Home Business Central, you can go to the www.20waystoprofit.com, and also I've created a business to help people create abundance by gardening, and that's at www.gardeningforfoodsecurity.com. And you can catch the replays of the Anything Goes programs on the new Worldprofit Tube, or the YouTube channels Patrice Porter or Pat Porter is the older replays there. And there's some great listening there. And with that, I'm going to say my
I want to ask you a question before you go away. And that is, one of George Koch's most useful inventions is the device that tells us how many times each person has been here without taking action. And so we see that they've been here 67 times. It's proof positive. Now you know that if George hadn't invented that gizmo, the people would be lying through their teeth saying, oh, I've never been here before. This is the first time I've ever been here. In reality, they've been here 67 times. And I want to thank for just creating a tool that every single business in the world would long to have, so that they could find out what degree of seriousness these people entail. And most of the time they have no seriousness whatsoever. They lie. The biggest, well, maybe not the biggest, it's one of the 2 or 3 biggest problems, and that is the lying that goes on, the bogus information that's given. It's a disgrace, it's unnecessary, it's demeaning, and if anyone out there perpetrating that, get over it, because you're just showing that you are truly killing the goose that lays the golden egg. Want to speak to that?
Yeah, you just end up carrying extra baggage when you, because all the lies you tell, you've got to cover up, and you just end up carrying extra baggage. So it's better to come up with a clean slate and prepared to give her and follow those that have broken the trail before you and broken the way to success. And that's what we've got here, and I would hope more people would take advantage of that. And I'm going to be up here for the next hour to help people come on in and join a great team here for Success Online. And again, it happens every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, the Anything Goes programs. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
And that's Patrice Porter, our white rabbit, who handles all the ins and outs of these real-time matters. I want to welcome Brian Fuller, and James Stevens coming back with his final remarks. Brian Fuller, please respond. This is Dr. Matt, the CPO. And James Stevens is coming in. He will undoubtedly, after he took a lot of hits today with the podcast, I'm sure he'll have some gentle final remarks. Brian, this is your visit by a business owner. Why haven't you joined us so far? DJ Robinson, this is your 7th visit. Brian, why haven't you joined us so far? Not sure? You click on the green box and watch the video. Brian, we have been helping people like you for over 22 years on that. What are you not sure about? What we're going to do here is to give James Stevens a chance to have a go at Brian, then David will do his final remarks. I'll do my final remarks, and we'll hand the baton over to the ever-lovely, talented Patrice Porter. Hopes that she doesn't need any fires in the face of what we do. James, your comments to Brian about he's not sure. What do you want to tell him?
Well, Brian, I'd like to say this to you. Now, if you're really serious about making money online, this is the place. No one does it better than Worldprofit. Now, we do have the proven strategies and tools that work, but I'd like to say this to you also, Brian, is that, when you come aboard, you have to make sure that this is what you want. You have to put the time in. And if you really want to see a change in your family, you want to see a change in your financial situation, this is the place to do it. Because everything that you need is here under one roof. And you have people that are successful at this and that will help you. You just have to come in here and roll your sleeves up and get to work. But we have the tools here that will make that happen for you.
As you're about to leave, I want you to get rid of Alex Smith, who comes in here 24 times, does nothing, doesn't talk to anyone. Alex, that's rude. I have to treat you like a birdie in a badminton game. By God, I'll do it. James Stevens, your final comments for today. It was a day that's you get walloped with a few pies in the face. What have you learned today that can help the people all over the world?
Well, what I've learned today is this. We really have to, if it's something that we really want to have to show passion for, and then people really have to see that passion. And then, when they see the passion, they can see that you're really sincere about it. And then when you put that together in the work, you will have the success.
So what you give Brian, I'm going to give you 30 to like 60 seconds. Talk to Brian Fuller about your passion. What do you personally want him to know? You took advantage of the opportunity, and you're seeing the money come in. He's coming here, he is not sure. He's not making a dime. He never will make a dime the way he's doing it. He doesn't know how to do it. It's a fiasco. transfer some of your passion onto him?
Well, Brian, I'd like to say this to you. If you really want to be successful at things, whatever it is you're doing in life, you need to follow those that are successful. Follow the path. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then when you do that, success becomes easy for you. You just follow that. And that's the choice I made. Was I decided to take one of the principles from Think and Grow Rich, and just follow the path that's been successful before me. We do have success.
On that happy note, we're going to retire James into the showers, where he's the sweetness and the talks all the rest of the day. My name has been Dr. Jeffrey Lynn. I am the CEO and co-founder of Worldprofit at www.worldprofit.com. Thanks everyone for coming. 1 o'clock every day Eastern here, where we tell it like it is, where we've been telling it like it is for over 22 years. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked upon as something shocking. Now, James, heaven knows everything was.